Hello viewers, today I am before you to tell you about Carnatic music, Swar, Raga, Tala and musical compositions of Carnatic music. As you know, in India, two separate music systems are prevailing. One is Hindustani music and the other one is Carnatic music. Carnatic music is prevailing in southern India, especially in Karnataka state. Hindustani music is prevalent in the northern India. In fact, in almost all over India except Mysore, Madras and Andhra Pradesh. When we go through the musical text of ancient India, we find that there was only one music system. Northern and southern music systems came into existence in around 13th century, and thereafter the music system were categorized as Hindustani and Carnatic. While surveying historically, we find that the Muslims' invasions had started in North India from 11th century and lasted till almost 200 years. Thereafter, there were a lot of changes in North India, politically, economically, in religion, and in Indian culture and music too. In 13th century, Muslim culture had entered in every way of life of North Indians. No doubt, with the deep impact of Muslims in northern Indian music, it became entirely distinct from southern India. Pandit Vishnu Narayan Bhatkhande has clearly mentioned in his book that the present Hindustani music is a fine blend of Hindu and Muslim culture. Before the time of Pandit Sharangdev, only one system of music was flowing in India. This ancient Indian music is still prevailing in Carnatic music. Because only the North India was affected by the invasions of Muslims, therefore, only North Indian music was influenced by their culture. We find the mention about the two separate streams of music in our musical text after Pandit Sharangdev's Sangeet Ratnakar, that is in 13th century. So, it is very evident that till 14th or 15th century, two separate music systems had taken distinct shape in India. And both the systems were heading towards the path of development in their own way. With the passage of time, there was digged a big trench between the two systems, and these were totally distinguished from one another. These were known as Hindustani and Carnatic music systems. Though originally both of these systems belong to one tradition. We know much about Hindustani music because this music system is prevailing here in North India. But it is essential for the students of music to have some knowledge about Carnatic music too, in respect of its Swar, Raga, Tala and musical compositions. Now let's see the distinct features of Carnatic music. Swar of Carnatic music. The 12 notes of Carnatic music are Shadaj, Shuddh Rishab, Chatushrutik Rishab or Shuddh Gandhar, Shatshrutik Rishab or Sadharan Gandhar, Antar Gandhar, Shuddh Madhyam, Prati Madhyam or Varali Madhyam, Pancham, Shuddh Dhaivat, Chatushrutik Dhaivat or Shuddh Nishad, Shatshrutik Dhaivat or Kashik Nishad and Kakli Nishad. These 12 notes of Carnatic music can be compared with Hindustani music as it is shown in the table. Just have a look on this table. You can see in this table that Shadaj of Hindustani Swar or Hindustani music is the Shadaj in Carnatic music. Komal Rishabh is Shuddh Rishabh. Shuddh Rishabh is Chatushrutik Rishabh or Shuddh Gandhar. Komal Gandhar is Shatshrutik Rishabh or Sadharan Gandhar. Shuddh Gandhar is Antar Gandhar. Shuddh Madhyam is Shuddh Madhyam. Tivr Madhyam is Prati Madhyam or Varali Madhyam. Pancham is Pancham. Komal Dhaivat is Shuddh Dhaivat. Shuddh Dhaivat is Chatushrutik Dhaivat or Shuddh Nishad. Komal Nishad is Shatshrutik Dhaivat or Kashik Nishad. And Shuddh Nishad is Kakli Nishad. In Carnatic music, the word Shuddh is pronounced with Shuddh Swar, whereas in Hindustani music, we simply pronounce Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni. In Carnatic music, the lowest pitch or place of any swar is Shuddh, and the Vikrit Swar is considered higher than the Shuddh Swar. For example, Sadharan Gandhar and Antar Gandhar are higher in pitch than Shuddh Gandhar. Similarly, Kashki Nishad and Kakli Nishad are higher in pitch than Shuddh Nishad. But Hindustani music, Komal Swar or flat note is the lowest pitch for any note. Shuddh Swar is higher than the Komal Vikrit or flat note. It is evident from the above mentioned notes that some of the Carnatic Swar have even 3 varieties. For example, Shuddh Gandhar, Sadharan Gandhar and Antar Gandhar. Similarly, Shuddh Nishad, Kashki Nishad and Kakli Nishad. In Hindustani or Northern Indian music, maximum 2 varieties of any note are possible. For example, Komal Rishabh and Shuddh Rishabh, Komal Gandhar and Shuddh Gandhar, Shuddh Madhyam and Tivr Madhyam, etc. Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni, the Shuddh Swar Saptak in both Karnataka and Hindustani system is Kankangi and Bilawal respectively. Hindustani Shuddh Swar Saptak Bilawal is Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni Sa. Karnataka Shuddh Swar Saptak would be written in terms of Hindustani swar names as Sa, Komal Re, Re, Ma, Pa, Komal Dha, Dha and Sa. According to Hindustani music, Ga and Ni, these 2 notes are missing in Shuddh Swar Saptak of Carnatic music. But in Carnatic music, Re and Dha Shuddh of Hindustani music are to be pronounced as Ga and Ni Shuddh respectively. In Carnatic music system, although as many as 72 males have been calculated mathematically by Pandit Venkatmukhi, but all these males are not in vogue. The rags have been classified among 19 or 20 males out of 72 male kartas in Carnatic music. In Hindustani music, only 10 thoughts of Pandit Vishnu Narayan Bhatkhande are in vogue for the classification of all the rags prevalent in Hindustani music. The next is rags of Carnatic music. Another basic difference between the system of the North and the South is found in the presentation and approach to music. A lot of rags are common to both the systems, though under different names. For example, Mohanam of Carnatic music is Bhopali of Hindustani music. Hindol of the south is Malkons of the north. Madhyamadi of the south is Madhmat Sarang of the north. Pandit Ravi Shankar has mentioned in his book My Music, My Life. Some Hindustani rags that are played in the south are given altered names there. For example, the Hindustani Jhanjhoti was renamed Senjirote in the south, and Rag Kafi became Rag Kapi. Then there are some rags that use approximately the same notes in both the systems but have entirely different names. Rag Malkons of the north corresponds to Hindol or Hindolam of the south. The Hindustani Bhupali and Durga are known respectively as Mohanam and Shuddh Saveri in Carnatic system. Some typical northern rags such as Behag, Khamaj or Kamas as it is called in south and Sindhi Bhairavi became quite popular in the south and kept more or less the same names as in northern one and yet be quite different from it. The Karnataka Todi, Bhairavi, Kannada and Sahana rags are among those. So, it is evident that common melodies under different names as well as different melodies under common names are met within both the systems. Hindol of the north is just opposite from the Malkons or Hindol of the south. Bhairavi in the north is like Hanum Todi of the south, while in the south Bhairavi is somewhat like Asavri in the north. There are some rags in Hindustani music in which we use two varieties of Madhyam simultaneously. For example, in Rag Lalit, two Madhyam, that is Tivr and Shuddh, Ma, come one after the other. In Carnatic music system, two varieties of the same note are never used in such a manner. Moreover, mixed rags are not common in Carnatic music system, whereas in Hindustani music, we do make use of allied rags to express bhav or emotions in rags, especially while singing Thumri form. While performing a rag, we find that there is rag alapna in both the systems. Alap is expressed in meaningless syllables such as ni, ta, re, na, nom, tom, etc. in south as well as in the north. Another point which is worth mentioning regarding presentation of rags is that in Carnatic music, the common practice is such that 2, 3, 4 or more rags can be sung in an hour's duration, whereas in Hindustani music, one rag can be elaborated more than an hour's time. In the words of S.N. Ratanjankar, one can hear half a dozen kritis in the south in an hour's time, while in the north, half a khyal is not finished in 1 hour. This is mentioned in his article entitled Affinity Between Carnatic and Hindustani Music in commemoration volume in honor of Dr. S.N. Ratanjankar 1961. Now let's turn to the musical compositions of Carnatic as well as in Hindustani music. An analytical study of both the systems reveals their origin is in the ancient Prabandhs, the composition of 4 or 5 parts, namely Udgra, Dhruv, Melapak, Abhog and Antra. These parts of Prabandh have their prototypes in the Pallavi, Anupallavi, Muktajampu, Charanam and Chitswaram in the South Indian Varnam, as well as in Sthai, Antara, Sanchari and Abhog of Dhrupad, Trivet, Chaturang singing styles of the north. Kirtanams of the south and the Dhrupads of the north both had their origin in the Prabandhs. The Kritis of the south and Khyals of the north, on the other hand, are comparatively modern musical compositions, in which a scope for expansion of Rag Alapna. There is another musical composition in the South Indian music known as Javli, which is a light type composition and has the affinity with Thumri of the north. Taranas of the north and Tilanas of the south are common type of songs to demonstrate verbal dexterity and rhythmic play. Thus, we can say that popular classical singing forms in Carnatic music are Kirtanam, Kriti, Varnam, and the light music forms are Javli and Padam, etc. The different parts in any singing compositions are Pallavi, Anupallavi, Charanam and Chitswaram. This is worth mentioning that in South, apart from Sanskrit, the principal languages in musical compositions are Kannada, Tamil and Telugu. A great number of songs texts are composed in these languages, whereas in Hindustani music, most of the musical compositions are in Hindi, Urdu and Braj Bhasha. Tal system of Carnatic music. Carnatic Tal system is entirely different than that of Hindustani Tal system. The popular Tal system in Carnatic music is Saptalam, which is based upon the 7 main Tals. These are Dhruv Tal, Mat Tal, Rupak Tal, Jhamp Tal, Triput Tal, At Tal and Ek Tal. There are 5 jatis of each Tal, namely Chatastar Jati, Tristar Jati, Mishra Jati, Khand Jati and Sankirna Jati. Thus, the 7 main Tals and 5 jatis of each Tal, totaling 35 Tals, which are in vogue in Carnatic music. One more very important point to mention about South Indian Tals is that there are 6 kinds of cymbals, and the total matras or beats of any Tal is based upon these. These 6 cymbals are known as Shatang, that is the 6 paths. These are Anudrut, Drut, Lagu, Guru, Palut and Kakpad. The cymbals of Shatang and the matras of each ang are shown in a table. Just have a look on this table. You can see in this table that Anudrut, Drut, Lagu, Guru, Palut and Kakpad, these 6 paths carry 1, 2, 4, 8, 12 and 16 matras respectively. Among the above mentioned 6 paths, only 3 are in vogue nowadays, which are Anudrut, Drut and Lagu. The remaining 3 paths, Guru, Palut and Kakpad, are not in use in the prevalent Tal system in Carnatic music. As stated earlier, there are 5 jatis of Tal, which are Chatastar, Tristar, Khand, Mishra and Sankiran jati. Now, the total number of beats of any of the 7 Tals is based upon the jati to which it belongs, because in each jati the Lagu has different beats. For example, in Chatastar jati, Lagu has 4 beats, In Taristar Jati, it has 3 beats, whereas in Khand, Mishra and Sankiran Jati, the beats of Lagu are 5, 7 and 9 respectively. In each Jati, the beats of Lagu differ, and hence the total number of beats of the same Tal differ in each Jati. It is not irrelevant to mention here that except Lagu, the rest of the Angs, that is Anudrut and Drut, do not alter their beats in different Jatis. Thus, the Tal system of Carnatic music is a little complicated but very calculative. Whereas in Hindustani music, there is no such fixed number of Tals, though there are 30 to 35 Tals in northern Indian music. But amongst those, only 10 to 12 are used frequently. In Carnatic Tal system, the different parts of Tal are known as Ang. Even one matra forms an Ang. In Hindustani music, different parts of Tal are known as Vibhags, but one matra does not make any Vibhag. Different number of matras generate different Tals in Hindustani music. For example, a group of 6 matras is called Dadra Tal, 7 matras Rupak Tal. Similarly, 8 matras is known as Kairva Tal, 10 matras Jhap Tal, 12 matras make Ek Tal, etc. Complete theka of each Tal has different number of beats, which are divided into different groups or sections known as Vibhags. Each Vibhag of Tal is symbolized by different symbols. The first beat of Vibhag is called Sam and is indicated by Tali. The first beat of each Vibhag or each of the remaining Vibhags is symbolized either by Tali or by Khali. So, it is evident that the Tal system of Carnatic music is entirely different from that of Hindustani music. Though Carnatic and Hindustani music systems have their own identity and the respective system of Swar, Rag, Tal and musical compositions, yet there are some common features between the two systems. We have seen that till the time of Sharangdev, there was no such distinction as Carnatic music and Hindustani music. The basic principles, not only in theory but even in the practical expressions of music in India, are as intact in the north as in the south. All the differences that are there in between these two systems are in certain rags on one hand and on the other hand in the embellishments like gamak, etc. Dr. S.N. Ratanjankar writes, Pandit Bhatkhande has taken a number of South Indian rags to the north. Hansdhwani, Hamsa, Kankani, Saveri under the names of Durga, Shri Ranjani, Abhogi, Abhiri. Vasant Mukhari, Devranjani are some of the rags he had introduced in Hindustani music. The famous Abdul Karim Khan Sahib was open-minded and progressive enough to at least make an attempt at giving a South Indian expression to some of his songs and sang the sargams in the South Indian way. Further, Dr. S.N. Ratanjankar writes, the time is not far when both these systems will not only enrich themselves by the mutual give and take, but build up together the national Bharati. Not for a moment do I urge that the rags as they are in either of the systems should be interfered with. But there is no sin in North Indians singing a Varnam or Kriti in a Ritigol, or in South Indians singing a Drupad or Khyal in Bageshwari. Thus, we can only hope that with the give and take of both the systems, there is possibility for the reunion of Carnatic music and Hindustani music. Thank you.